All right. I'll record myself for Sherry. I have it on selfie mode. So nobody's, just me. I'm just going to, this is October 31st, 2023, Halloween. And we're doing ear acupuncture today. And this is the integration session. All right. Oh, you know, Bonnie, what we do is, this part, it's optional, okay? But we kind of curious what each person noticed. So we invite people to share. But important to know that your experience, each person's experience is unique. Like, it's so unique that there's no words to truly describe it even. You know, the words that we have is not enough to describe. It's like if 3 people show up at the edge of Grand Canyon for the first time. They'll have 3 sets of experiences. There was a few things that they may, they'll share in common because they're in the same place. And they will say, oh yeah, I noticed that, I noticed that. And they say, oh yeah, I noticed that, I noticed that, right? But you see, this journey is different. We're on our own. Like when you go inside to observe how your brain and things that shows up, what your body does and what you notice, it's totally different. So we already know from the start point that where you experiences are unique. Now we're gonna put some words into it to describe it. So there's no wrong way to describe it. But we like people who are new to start first. Why? Because we don't want any pressure to think that you have to say something. It could be very little, a lot. It's just whatever comes up, what you notice. We just love a chance to hear. Very curious. Whenever it's new people, it's like everybody's been here once. That's new, right? For the first time, everybody's done that once. So we're just curious what you notice.
Honestly, there was nothing. Like I kept waiting for what you said, your brain to brain, and you'll see what you need to see, and there was nothing really there. But probably because I'm expecting something to be there.
That's a bit of a surprise, isn't it? To notice nothing? No? For you?
Yeah, I guess. Or I guess that I noticed nothing. I don't know.
Okay, that's beautiful. So that's basically the experience. Sometimes noticing nothing is one of the experience. That's why this process is called nada. No, witnessing that nada experience is I would say it's part of the process, right? But I won't tell you what else will come up. But other people who's been here before, they may have witnessed that as well. But having that experience is very interesting. Right? We'll talk about what.
It was very tense too, though. Yeah, it was very tense too. And then I kept realizing how tense I was, and I would relax, but then it would be tense again. So.
Okay, all right. So that's a noticing. So at least 2 things we noticed. One is that when you say nothing, that means there wasn't a lot of thoughts. Whereas you expected maybe this much thoughts, and you end up with this much. So I call that a phenomenon, okay, or a surprise. Okay? So that pertains to thoughts. And the other thing you notice is sensation. So when we say we are tense, it's a sensory thing, right? A word, sensation, the word tense is really a label. Underneath the label, there is an experience. That experience we call sensation. It's what you feel. So when you say tense, you did this with your shoulder, and then you went like this, right? So I imagine you're feeling something in your shoulder, in your body somewhere. So that's called sensory awareness. So you notice thoughts or the absence of thoughts. Even the thought that, oh, there's no thought, it's a thought, right? But it's very, very little in comparison to maybe another experience where you have like, whoa. But you'll see, the other thoughts will come too. Every session will be different. You will notice all kinds of different experiences. It's very much like riding a bicycle because no 2 journeys are the same, right? Sometimes you hit a little patch of gravel. Sometimes you hit a speed bump. Sometimes something will pull in front of you. Sometimes you're watching this and that, okay? It's all different. But you will learn collectively from each one of those experiences that will add up. So next session will be different, that's a promise. So now, maybe we'll stop here for now unless there's something else you want to say. But if something comes up for you later, maybe please add it to us. Okay, we'd love to hear what you have to say. Now you're curious what other people are going to say, right? So let's see. Okay. Now who wants to go next?
I need to leave.
Okay, yes, please, Maoyar.
At first, I was moving so much, like I don't know why. I was feeling itching here, and then itching here, and then I felt like this, and then then slowly, I calmed down a little. And it was some moment that I focused on my breathing, and I had no thoughts, just black. And it came back to thoughts. When the thing is, I want to say, when thought was coming, there was some moment that I was noticing that I was thinking, and I was thinking, oh my, the brain is braining. And when I say this, when I notice that I'm thinking, I feel myself separate from, how can I say, the thing is, I see my head, my thoughts here, and myself here, watching it. Do you understand? So I would wish this happened, as I said yesterday too, I wish this happened automatically every time. It's good, you know? So I was noticing thoughts and I was saying, oh, now I'm thinking that I separate, I see myself from above from the top. So this is something happened to me 2 times, 3 times. That's it.
That's good. Thank you very much for sharing that. Yeah, thank you, Maoyar. Please, Talisa.
I noticed more of my brain was braining a lot, so I'd have more questions and thoughts, like what was going on, and then I started just noticing sensations in my body. Again, I noticed that my feet were cold, but the rest of my body were hot, which is different. And that was really it. And I was just trying to bring myself back to the present because I didn't want to continuously think. So then I'll just notice other sensations in my body, like my tummy grumbling, but then I was thinking I ate already, so why is my tummy grumbling? Like just random questions and thoughts like that.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, you notice your thoughts, they will come. That's good. But you also, the thought that I don't want to have thoughts is also another thought, right?
Yeah.
So see them all and you will see what will happen. Yeah, they're all thoughts. Thank you. Yes, Sybil, please.
Everything was very calm today. The only thing that I really felt at one time was just sort of a tickling, itching in my throat. And it just lasted for a few minutes and then it went away. I didn't feel anything. And the odd colors coming up and coming and going. But nothing really today again. It was just calm and relaxed.
Thank you. So you notice there's a pattern. There's always sensation and thoughts, sensation and thoughts. So that's, the feet cold, body warm is a sensation. And then you had certain sensation in your body and you had the tickle and you had the tension. Those are sensations. And then there's thoughts. The thoughts always seems to be attached to the sensation or just by itself. They can, sometimes they're related, sometimes they're not. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes there are thoughts about thoughts. Oh, I don't want to have thoughts, for example. Or good thought, bad thought. I like this thought, I don't like that thought. They're still thoughts, right? I don't need to think, oh, that's another thought. I'm braining, that's a thought, right? And then there's thoughts like that where you see colors, right? Those are not word thoughts. They're just like visual kind of thoughts. But they're not visual because your eyes are closed. So you can see stuff sometimes. Or you see black, even that, it's a color, right? You're seeing something. You're perceiving something, and then the mind says, oh, that's black. So they're all thoughts. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, Eric, please.
Today, my brain and my body were very at war with each other. I found it very difficult to find a position that my body was comfortable in. I always feel like there's a collective set of symptoms or observations about my body that I associate with anxiety. And I was feeling some of those today, especially near the start of the session, where my body, it feels like I'm overheating to the point where even though I'm just sitting here, I feel like I roll my sleeves up to try and cool down, and I feel myself like sweating, just sort of existing, sitting in a chair. And then my brain starts to notice all of these symptoms, and again, it wants to take control, which I think is a common theme for me, where I'm like a white knuckle kind of person where my brain wants to be in control of every little bit of thing that it can control and some things that it can't. So I was just very fidgety, and I observed there were a couple snores from my left, which I felt very jealous of.
I apologize.
No.
My turn.
No, it was good. It was something for me to hear and focus on outside of, I guess, my personal discomfort with the session. So it was very active for me.
Thanks for sitting through that. That's thank you. Those are actually really powerful sessions. Like you have some session when it's like nada, so that's just a teaser, you know. Then you're gonna have sessions like this one day, but that's when you don't want to run away. You want to sit through them all, because it's like today you got the easy, gentle slope on the bike, and the next time you know it's gonna be one of those. You don't know when it's gonna come. The truck's gonna come in front, and you're gonna be wobbling like this, and then the gravel patch was just right following that, and there will be another car that comes in front of you, and you're just doing this. But that's how you learn how to ride the bike, isn't it? You gotta wobble, because you never know how to ride the bike otherwise. So thank you very much for sitting through, Eric, and for sharing. Thank you. Oh.
Feeling very called out.
I actually think I was sleeping. I think I should just bring a mouth guard to these things for the sleep apnea thing, and then you guys would be fine. No, for me, it was a congestion. I wasn't actually sleeping because I remember the whole bit of it. And overall, it was really great. I just had to go. It went very deep, but for the first time in many days, I feel fully back in my body now. I'm at my house and I'm cold, but I'm never cold ever. So no, everything after today, it's everything. I feel just back in my body, completely warm again. And, you know, feet, hands, which is instead of extra sweaters and slippers and stuff at home now. Very thankfully, everything is reset back to normal. So. But yeah, no, that was a little bit of milk congestion, and it's causing a little bit of that breathing. I caught it completely. My first thought was, I really don't know. I'm sitting beside, the new girl. I'm like, I hope she doesn't hear that. I feel really bad that this is happening. I hope this doesn't disturb, any of you guys, obviously. Okay, it's fine. So.
Thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. So quite different than your last session, because Monday you had that session yesterday.
That was not fun.
It's the Monday thing, right? But that's really rare for you. That was a surprise.
It was working 12, 15 hours, like 4 days in a row, and I didn't have my son with me, so I just, you'd eat whenever, you live on coffee. It was not smart, but I just needed to get some stuff done so I could focus on, Halloween and everything else that we have to pull off today.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you.
No.
So in this session, you'll find that I said this before, like sometimes if you're tired, what comes to you is actually sleep. So that's totally legit. That's just the body bodying. So even snore is just the body bodying. So you're not responsible. You didn't get it wrong. And it's actually very helpful. Sometimes, it's like, you see sometimes people just notice those things, and then you have an experience. What is it like to hear people snore? What happens in your head? So you notice the brain gets triggered by certain snoring sounds. Sometimes it's one way, sometimes another. It's different. And you would learn from all of that. Thank you very much. And thank you. Yeah. So, yeah, Steve, please.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was thinking a lot today, just in a state of contemplation. I think I was thinking a lot about what you were talking about, the different types of drugs and uppers and downers, and how being here is, we can kind of find a way to find a natural balance. And then I just started thinking about all the things in my life that my body and my mind have felt like they really need, but questioning how much I actually need. So I was just kind of in a state of contemplation, like thinking about like how much can you pare down your life and get to like the essential kind of like toolkit, beyond your body. Yeah, that's what So I was thinking a lot.
Thoughts, yeah. You were here in the room though, like you were not looped, right? You were present, like you knew the brain was just doing this.
Yeah, it felt like a state
Mostly.
of contemplation, which I would like. I felt like I was in a plane where I could just kind of like contemplate, and
That's
I think
amazing.
that's different from looping.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
It is different. It
I
feels.
feel
It feels different.
It feels different.
Yeah, it didn't feel sort of manic or kind of like obsessive or anything.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Thank you. So those experiences will come. I just call them epiphany. You know, sometimes there's a clarity. It's like, oh, okay, I get it. You know, I can see things more clearly. Yeah. Looping is kind of like wasted energy, right? Just like the same thing over and over again. But here it's like a little different. Thank you. All right. We got Alyssa and we have Maoyar. Oh, I think it's Savannah, right? That's it. I think you're the last one, Savannah. Thank you.
I felt the pins go in, as I think most people do, and then instant calm pretty much once they settle again. So I'm finding a pattern of like that just like wave of calm that sets in, which I really enjoy. Similar ideas, and then my mind settled, and then I think it felt like a present sleep. Like I wasn't like sleeping, but I was just on the edge of it, but enough that I didn't hear anything coming from this side, so they were fine for me. So, and I just enjoyed it because I think my body's tired, and I find that after cold dips, like they say like you get a rise in melatonin, so I'm often very tired after dipping, so I'm just enjoying the sleepy state.
That's awesome. That's good. Thank you. Anybody want to add anything? Anybody? So keep coming back. And this whole process works by itself. You don't have to do anything. Even this talking piece is not necessary. The body just learns. It's like after you ride the bike, you don't have to talk about what happened. It's just curious, you know, we can talk about it, but we don't have to. Your body learns. So being present in the here and now is a reflex that can become developed through experience of, so it's just like that balance on the bike. It's developed through experience of getting on the bike in different situations. Sometimes the truck will pull in, you'll make some honking noises. Sometimes people will talk outside. Sometimes people are talking in the reception. And sometimes the grumbling in the stomach we mentioned already. You hear the door chair creak. And you see what happens when your brain is stimulated by those external stimuli. What does the brain do? And then you'll see what will happen. Eventually the brain will just know exactly how much the brain. Because you end up with this objectivity with the brain. You kind of say, oh, this thing is just thoughts, right? And then there's no attachment to it. It will just come, serve its purpose. That's what the brain does. It's supposed to label, oh, that's snort. And then there will be a brain that says, oh, I like it, I don't like it. Well, then you can see that's a thought too. So you don't get lingered. You don't listen, linger. It doesn't get looped in. But sometimes those, I call it the meta thoughts. The thoughts about the thoughts actually keep us looped in. Oh, I don't want this thought. Oh, I need to be peaceful. That's a thought, you see? That's what keeps us looping. Because now you're thinking again, right? But if you can see that, you can stop that. Okay, you can't stop yourself from judging your thoughts. You're being a judge, but just realize that's also a thought. But that will become plainly clear as you sit through here. And without any kind of words, your body gets it. The whole system gets it. And you start to develop this moment to moment. You're just like, oh, I get it. Like, not just here, you'll notice later on, even in daily, like something will happen, you say, oh, okay. And then you just move on. There's no lingering. You don't have to fight it anymore. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Appreciate you all. Happy Halloween.
You too.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you. You too.
We gotta see what happens. So today is gonna unfold very differently, right? We gotta see very interesting things. Lots of people have a lot of things planned. I'm gonna see. So October 31st, 2023, this ear acupuncture integration completed. Hi, Sherry. Have a nice day. Happy Halloween, by the way, Sherry.